Welcome back to KWBJ News. It's time now for sports, and Swampland continues.
Absolutely, and we were hoping it was going to continue a little longer, but sadly it did not. Taco Bell had the home field advantage and the momentum heading into last night's game against Robichaux Ford Vanderbilt Catholic, but would the young team be able to overcome the errors that have plagued them for most of the season? Let's head to the game 2 of the Summer Swamp League playoffs. Last night, home team already on top by 2, but Vanderbilt Catholic would bounce right back. Top of the second, runner on second base. This one gets drilled into the second baseman's hands. He tries to make the stop and the throw, but the runner moves over to third base. He gets the out. Bad pitch thrown by Neil Terrio, and Vanderbilt Catholic gets its first run of the ball game. Plenty more would follow. This time, 2 runners on, bunt on the way. Terrio trying to make the play, but the bunt was too good, so that's going to load the bases for the visiting team. This one would get booted way high into right field. Berwick makes the out, but the runner on third tags up and brings in the sacrifice fly. Coach Mike Thomas calls a pitching change, and in comes Tim Shelby, but he starts off on the wrong foot, and that would load the bases again with a batter on for Thibodaux for Robichaux Ford, and the runs would keep piling on. So do the errors. Grounder hit to Bobby Boudreau. Too hot for him to handle. Runner going to be safe at first. He'll reach on a second steal, so the next batter drills this one into right field, moves him over to third, and that puts runners on the corners for Matt Bajeron, and he rips this one deep to left. Going, gone. A 3-1 shot. Berwick didn't have any answers for Vanderbilt, and they win this one 12-2. Neil Terrio got the loss. He went just over 3 innings and scattered 2 runs off of 6 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 1 runner. Not much going on at the plate for Taco Bell. Most of the hitting was done in the first inning. Reed Leonard was 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI, as well as Nick Dutu. So Berwick finishes the Swamp League 9-5. Robichaux Ford will play Edie White Synergy Bank, who had a brilliant comeback over South Terrebonne South Bank in Game 2 of last night's. 10-9 was your final. South Bank got 7 runs in the first inning and 2 more runs in the second. Edie White started its comeback in the 4th inning and never let up. Scott Zush got the win. He pitched 1 inning and 2/3. He walked 1 and struck out 2 batters. Justin Terrio was 2 for 2 at the plate with 2 RBIs, and Jace Troops was 2 for 2 with 1 RBI. So Synergy Bank and Robichaux Ford will play in the Summer Swamp League title game, which should be wrapping up shortly. Congratulations, guys, on another fun summer. The final rankings for the college baseball season are out, and Arizona won the title, so they get the top spot, followed by South Carolina and Florida. Florida State takes 4th place with UCLA rounding out your top 5. Stony Brook, the team that downed LSU in the Super Regional, finished in 7th, and the LSU Tigers come in 9th place in Baseball America's top 25 ranking. So let's move on to the USA Today top 25. Arizona once again followed by South Carolina. The Razorbacks come in 3rd place with Florida State and UCLA rounding out your top 5. Stony Brook in 8th with LSU just 1 shy in the top. And welcome back to KWBJ News. It's now time for your sports. With playoffs itching closer and district games winding down, the intensity at the ballpark is running at a fever pace. Last night, Vanderbilt Catholic traveled to Berwick to put its 6'4" sophomore pitching sensation Chase Hawthorne against the steady senior Chris Sharpenshay. The Panthers jumped out in front early, belting in a run in the 1st and a run in the 2nd. Bottom of the 5th here, runners on first for the Panthers, trying to add to the lead. That's a single from Trey Williams to the left field to put runners on 1st and 2nd. Next up, it's Reed Leonard with 2 runners on. He hits it into a double play, 6-4-3, and the Terriers head in unscathed and try and claw themselves back. Let's go to the 7th here. Hawthorne is up at the plate. He strikes out but takes off to 1st. Catcher makes a bad throw, so Hawthorne makes his way to 2nd. Sliding in there, that's going to be an error on the Panthers, but Sharpenshay sends this fastball right down the middle for the final strikeout of the game, and the Panthers will chalk up another one. 2-0 is your final. Like I said, a pitcher's duel. Sharpenshay went all 7, allowing only 1 hit, no walks. He fanned 9 batters. Berwick only had 3 hits, though, themselves. Trey Williams was 1 of 2, and Matt Skelton was 1 for 3. The Panthers are sitting right at 16-7 on the season with a 4-2 record in district. Going to be watching a lot of film from this game next because their game will be against Vanderbilt Catholic and this time it's going to be in Houma. Let's get to some other scores around the area. Morgan City beat A.J. Ellender yesterday in an 8-inning finale, 8-7. Brody Anslem got the win going 7 innings. He let up 7 runs off 9 hits. He walked 4 and struck out 4. The Tigers put up 11 hits on the board themselves. Dylan Heimel had 2 RBIs. He was 2 for 3 on the night. Brandon Beadle was 2 for 4 at the plate with an RBI. Anslem also did well at the plate, knocking in 2 runs himself. The victory gives the Tigers their 9th win this season. They will face A.J. Ellender for round 2 tomorrow. Patterson picked up a win over Abbeville yesterday, 6-3 the final. Cameron Fontenot picked up the team's victory. 5 innings, only allowed 1 run off 4 hits. He walked 1 batter and struck out 4. Double timed at the plate, going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Jadrick DeCluet was 1 for 2 with an RBI. The Lumberjacks are still 11-11 this season. They are 1-6 in district, and they will play Abbeville again tomorrow as well. Let's move it over to softball. The Lady Tigers got a loss the other day to Vanderbilt Catholic. Tyler Hebert was the team's starting pitcher. She walked 1 and struck out 2. Vanderbilt picked up 6 of their runs in the first and got 1 more in the fourth. But the problem for the Lady Tigers was really at the plate. Shannon Terrio was 2 for 3 with a run scored, and Nikki Penson was 1 of 3 with an RBI. All around, though, not the best day of hitting for Morgan City. That puts them at
Hanson Memorial Field. It's their homecoming weekend, game of the week, Hanson versus Berwick. I'm here with Coach Sandusky. He's the coach of the Tigers today. And, Coach, you guys are coming off a big loss against Vermilion Catholic. What's your guys' feeling going into this game?
Surprisingly, it's actually pretty good. The kids have been really upbeat, and you know, we've had a great week of preparation. Being homecoming, you know, there's a lot of distractions and a lot of things going on, but I think for the 2.5 hours that we have them out there on the practice field, they've really been focused and really excited and motivated about the task and the challenge that we have this week against Berwick.
You guys have 14 seniors on your varsity squad this year. Talk a little bit about the experience of your team so far compared to other years.
To put into words, I guess the biggest thing is just having experience and having a maturity, and not just being a year older, but a year more experienced and
Once again, that was Coach Sandusky. We're right here at Hanson Stadium. Game of the week tonight, but we had 2 football games last night. Patterson went to Abbeville, and Central Catholic was at home against Ascension Catholic, and we'll take a look at that game right here. And this game was a doozy. Singleton under center. He hands this one off to Grogran and breaks what appears to be about 6 different arm tackles. He takes this one into the end zone for an easy score. Eagles driving again. Johnson in the backfield this time. He gets the rock, cuts it to the outside. He's going to take this one 48 yards into the end zone. Eagles now on top by 21, and if you'll take a look, the defender tried taking him down and couldn't quite get to him, but his shoulder pad ended up popping out. First quarter winding down. Another give here to Grogran. He makes this one look way too easy. Look at him just juking out defenders. It's a 24-yard touchdown. Eagles now on top by 28. Second quarter, Singleton is going to decide to air this one out for the first time. He passes it here. Short pass to Brown, but he just obliterates every pursuing defender's ankle. He takes it 83 yards into the end zone, and Ascension Catholic has no answer for all that speed that Central Catholic has on the field. Singleton again in shotgun. He's got Tyler Hoffpower open. He decides to lob it up to him. Now Hoffpower makes an easy catch, and he decides to stop on a dime, lets both defenders take each other out. He scampers this one into the end zone. It's an 89-yard touchdown pass for Singleton, and Central Catholic would win this one. 48-0 was the final. They scored a total of 7 touchdowns throughout the course of the game. Singleton didn't have a lot of passing attempts, but when he did, he definitely went the distance. He was 3 for 4 for 232 yards. He threw 3 touchdown passes. His longest was 89 yards. Hoffpower had that big touchdown reception in the second quarter. Brown had 83 yards receiving and a touchdown. And once again, Grogan had another big day. He had 2 carries for 45 yards. That's 22.5 yards attempt and a total of 3 touchdowns on the day. Patterson beat Abbeville last night. 47-6 was the final. Justice Jones was dealing TDs again. He was 7 of 10 for 88 yards. He threw 2 touchdown passes. Trayvon Stewart led the team on the ground. He had 4 carries for 94 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had a receiving touchdown. Jedrick Cluett got in the mix last night as well. He had 2 receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. Patterson is still undefeated so far this season. That's going to be it for sports tonight. Once again, I'm here at Hanson Memorial. Game of the week tonight, Tigers homecoming, Hanson versus Berwick. But, of course, it's Friday, so we got plenty of other games on the road ahead. Morgan City will be at home against A.J. Ellender. West St. Mary will be on the road against Como. Franklin will be at Kaplan, and I will be at the Assumption and South Terrebonne game. We'll have highlights and scores for you guys on Monday's show, but of course we got college football on Saturday. LSU will be taking on Tennessee, and on Sunday, don't forget, the Saints will travel to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. That's going to be it for sports. We got more news right after this.
Sean Long had been preparing for this moment his whole life. In his final season as a Tiger, he wanted to leave everything he had on the court.
I was just ready. Before the season started, I told everybody I was coming to make a big impact, and I think I did that.
In Sean's final season as a Tiger, the 6'9" basketball player averaged over 21 points a game, 15 rebounds, and 9 blocks. With his size and unique shooting ability, it was only a matter of time before college recruiters came calling.
At Texas, Virginia Commonwealth, we had Baylor, Oregon. We had like maybe 6 more.
So much riding on his season and the everyday high school dilemma of figuring out what clothes to wear and which subject to study for first, Sean knew just who to turn to for guidance.
I've been in the process since day one. I pretty much spearheaded the whole process, and especially during the season, I kind of kept the coaches away from him, and I communicated with the coaches and relayed back to him how I felt, and then keeping in mind what his vision was, and then we kind of did it like that.
The two ended up choosing Mississippi State.
What stuck out to me about this visit was the atmosphere of, the campus or whatever, and like everybody seemed so welcoming, and I felt like I could fit into the program and make a big impact my freshman year, so that's why I chose to go.
The well-rounded student-athlete plans to take full advantage of his athletic scholarship, especially in the areas beyond the court.
Right now, my major probably will be kinesiology, sports studies.
And in the odd case that he does slip up, he knows just what's in store for him around the corner.
I already made it known to the coaches that he'll be under. They got a direct contact with me, so I definitely be on him all the way through his college career.
Courtney sees his brother's tremendous potential and will be there for him every step of the way. But the older brother also knows that the real work is just beginning.
At this point, it's all on Sean. I think, like I said, with Mississippi State, he definitely will have the facility and everything in place to help him develop. He just has to get up and down, like I tell him every day, and work his butt off and do what he needs to do to achieve his goal, which is the NBA.
Wrestling ascended onto the St. Mary Parish Saturday evening, and like every wrestling match, there was smack talk.
But the problem is for him is I'm in Amelia, right down the street from my hometown, and he got to battle me in my backyard. So John Steele, I got one word for you. You better go out there, pray, say your vitamins, do your push-ups, because guess what? You're going to need every ounce of strength you got when you get in the ring against Mustang Mike. Boom!
Mustang Mike, you know what I'm capable of doing. I do it time and time and time again. When are you going to learn, son? You and your little girlfriend, Crisco, Psycho. All right, I'm tired of both of y'all. I'm tired of this stinking town. This time, it finishes for good.
There was body slams. There was adoring fans, appetizing food, and the glory of victory. There were 7 matches in all. The final was a big showdown between fan favorite Mustang Mike and Big John Steele.
This is actually our hometown, so we're very lucky. The fans come all the time to see us and promote what we got going on. Actually, as far as advertising and getting the people here, there's always something new I learn on how to advertise or how to get to them.
Hundreds of fans came out to the rec center and at times were the star of the show.
It was very entertaining. They really get into their wrestling. They shouting and arguing with the wrestlers. I mean, they really get into their events over here.
Scott Phoenix is an up-and-coming wrestler who is using the GCW as a ladder to a professional career.
It's a good experience. It's been fun. I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and I do plan on making it to bigger and better things someday. I mean, hey, we're on the way, right? Yeah. Tag champions.